Hey everybody, Logan here. Today we're talking about something that is bothersome. Sadly, we all knew it was going to happen, especially with gaming these days in 2023. You guys know how that is. Um, okay, looks like Capcom is self censoring because they think, apparently, Japanese culture is offensive. We play Japanese games because we like Japanese games. We like that Japanese culture. We like experiencing the Eastern culture, if you will, here, those of us here in the West. And now apparently Capcom is doing this thing where they are culturalizing their games because some people get offended because Japanese people have their own culture and snowflakes over here tend to get upset. This is a shame. This is a real shame. Here, I'm going to take you to the article. This article comes from Bounding into Comics, and let me bring it up for you. So here you can see the article. This one's not a long one. Bounding into Comics is known for having longer articles and stuff like that, but I think this one kind of gets to the point, and I like that. So Capcom declares that simply translating games developed under Japanese norms can end up hurting users. No, it doesn't. Nobody gets hurt. People get butt hurt. People get offended. People go Ree! Because the Japanese have their own culture, and that is completely fine. And that's what we like as gamers who play Japanese games. We like that stuff. That's what's made it popular over the years. So let me read some, and you guys will understand. And I think it's part of the reason why Street Fighter 6 didn't really do it for me. Let me get into this before I go any further. I liked the gameplay. Gameplay is fantastic. The characters feel great. Everything. It's just a solid fighting game. Everything else around the game, I thought was just cringe. I did not enjoy playing much of the world tour mode or that story mode, the character creation. I didn't like it. I felt they pulled stuff from what was that? Mortal Kombat. What was that Mortal Kombat that had the conquest mode where you run around? It felt like that, something from the PS2 era. And I don't know, the character creation was just the character models start out with small. There's so many problems with it, but I could go on for hours. I decided to skip the whole Street Fighter 6 rant. I beat it with two characters in arcade mode, Guile and Ken. I wanted to still beat it with Cammy and a couple of other characters, but I ended up putting it back on the shelf and going back to Tears of the Kingdom. So let me stop the rant and let me get into the article. As more and more in Japanese game developers kowtow, I've not heard that expression before, to the ever-growing censorious demands of Western markets, Capcom has revealed that their in-house localization efforts, of course, work off the beliefs that games developed under Japanese norms can end up hurting users. No, it can't. Can't hurt anybody. People can get upset. They can go cry and whine because, oh no, she's too pretty. That's really what people are complaining about. I mean, it's like Koei Tecmo earlier this week, the Mega Man developers' editorial intent was recently brought to public attention by Twitter. Did this play? No, let's stop that. I don't want that playing. Editorial intent was recently brought to public attention by Twitter user, that guy, who discovered the information on the social sustainability section of the company's official investor. Now, whenever you hear buzz crap like that, you know it's garbage. That's the only bad thing. So get ready to roll your eyes. So here it goes. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the highlighted text says, simply translating games developed under Japanese norms can end up hurting users unexpectedly due to historical, religious, or cultural differences. Religious, I'm surprised they put that in there because, yeah, they really don't care about hurting us these days. If you know, you know. Culturalizing your games because you don't want to hurt others' uh, course of Japanese norms. It's Japanese norms why we are here, why we here in the West play Japanese games at Capcom JP. We play Japanese games because they are Japanese. Don't you get that? That is great. Monblut. Monblut 1984. Clap, 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 clap. So they go on to make some great points. I read the whole article, and I'm going to continue reading. Like I said, it's not too long, but they make some really good points in this article. First published sometime around January 2022 per Internet Archive, the page in question details Capcom's commitment towards serving as a responsible and trusted member of society. That's what I'm saying. Get me what I'm saying? Specifically in regards to their relationship with customers. This their relationship with customers means they don't care about customers. We're the ones who buy it, not the people that whine. Therein, Capcom provided insight into how this relationship factored into their game development with the company behind Street Fighter franchise, noting that their attentions were focused on two elements: in-game purchases, shocker, and localizing and culturalization. While their rather standard efforts towards the former area are best summed up by their declaration that, in principle, we minimize gotcha elements in the mobile games we develop. In our home video games, we provide any content required to enjoy the full game free of charge while offering some additional content at low cost. It is in their plan for the latter that Capcom showed their hand. Don't get me started into the I got the deluxe edition of Street Fighter 6, and now they're delaying content because of, and everything you want to get is behind a paywall. You can either pay for it or grind. They're like, oh, you can get it in game, but yeah, it's easier just to pay cash to get things. And when I saw that, I kind of rolled my eyes and I was like, I'm not surprised. Capcom games are enjoyed worldwide, they explain. In the fiscal year ended March 2022, the percentage of home video games sold overseas, 83.1%. Naturally, translation, localization of video games developed in Japanese is required so that game players around the world can enjoy them. We just need from Japanese to English or whatever they speak over in Europe, because there's a number of different languages, whether it's German or Spanish or French or what have you. It doesn't matter. Would just give us a translation and not agenda driven translations. Let's put it that way. The volume and importance of localization is increasing year after year due to factors such as improvements in game machine performance, support for online gameplay, and an increase in the number of languages accompanying a more diversified global audience, which has never been an issue before. It's like, all right, we're releasing these games. They're made in Japan, releasing them in the West. There's about 6 or 7 different languages they normally put it in. Sometimes they put it up in a couple more, depending on the regions. But you're pretty good. They never really worried about that kind of stuff before. As such, Capcom's localization team is involved in game development from the initial stages, which is the problem. Let the game devs make the games. Let the teams in Japan make their game, and then once you get it, worry about the other stuff. I was looking forward to Exo Primal, but I'm a little. I love dinosaurs, so I'm a little worried about this. Sorry, this video is going on a little longer because I'm breaking it up into little rants, because this is something that's really bothersome to me, because as someone who really enjoys Japanese games, I don't like when these companies bend the knee to nonsense people who aren't even going to play their games, and then they realize that those of us who actually enjoy the games are the ones that go, ugh, and we stop buying the games because of this nonsense. Nobody wants this. Just turn on your computer and you will find nobody wants this stuff. ESG and garbage, man. By carrying out localization concurrently with development rather than following completion of the Japanese language version, as had been done in the past, which should still be done, Capcom is able to launch games simultaneously around the world. Cool. I don't care if we get it a couple months later because of the translation, because it's the exact game in which the developer had envisioned. Concluding their statement with a disappointing bombshell, Capcom happily informed potential business partners what is more depending on the country. Simply translating games developed under Japanese norms can end up hurting users unexpectedly due to historical, religious, and cultural differences. As such, we focus on employing staff from around the world to culturalize the games as they can be enjoyed by all, regardless of locale. Okay, remember Street Fighter 2? Everybody loved that. Doesn't matter where. Remember Street Fighter 3? Remember Resident Evil 2? Remember Resident Evil 0? RE Remake? Remember those? Oh, yeah. What about Strider? Remember that? There's a ton of games. Darkstalkers? Hey, we all like that game. Huh? How about that? Mega Man. Ooh, Mega Man. We all like Mega Man. Come on. There's a million Capcom games from the past that are what they are now because people didn't do this. The company didn't do this. And now this is going to hurt sales. Sadly, Capcom's willingness to censor, edit, and alter works in ways that deviate from the author's original intent comes as no surprise given their recent streak of puritanical decisions. From changing Ashley and Ada's default outfits in Resident Evil 4 Remake to removing the ability for players to access the game's playfully risque secret ending in the 2022 Capcom Fighting Collection release of Vampire Savior 2, to covering up Armika's butt slap in Street Fighter 5 in response to viral outrage. It's just a handful of people. That's it. That's what happened. The developer has already made it more than clear that they're willing to sacrifice their integrity in the pursuit of a few extra dollars. But that's the thing. It's not a few extra dollars. The thing is, those of us who don't like it, we're used to saying, whatever, and just moving on. Where the people that want this stuff, they're the ones that scream and all over the place. But now things are changing because gamers like us that don't want this nonsense in our games anymore, because, we want it how it used to be, we're now speaking up. As you can see, I'm now speaking up. I'm tired of this. And there's a lot of us out there that are tired of this. Check out Geeks and Gamers. They talk about it all the time. And normally I'm here just to review products and say, hey, this game is good. I do. There's this rumor about this game. I don't like this controller. I like this controller. Normally that's what I do. Normally I don't go like this, but recently with episodes of the Ready to Start podcast, we've started digging a bit more deeper into these kind of issues. And it's just at the point where a lot of us are tired. And if you watch the podcast, you'll see it come through on a couple of episodes, definitely. However, credit where credit is due. They did release the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection with no alterations, instead opting to put a traditional disclaimer noting that the games it contains were products of their time, as well as a release of Cammy's original costume as DLC in Street Fighter 6. Now, Mega Man Battle Network was a kid's game. There's nothing wrong with that. I have no clue. I remember when they came out, they were directed at a young audience. I have no clue what could be in a Mega Man game that can butt hurt people. But hey, it's 2023, right? So there you go. That's the end of the article. So I think that's a nice image right there myself. We'll leave it on that. As you can see, I've gone on for quite some time, almost 15 minutes of ranting about this. And what I've noticed is a lot of people who follow my channel, especially those who watch my news videos and opinion pieces, tend to agree. And it seems like gamers are now starting to push back on this, where we'll just go, hey, fine, you know what? I'm just not going to buy it. The devs are there to make games to sell. They're a product. So you market your product towards your audience, not towards people that aren't going to buy it because they're screaming, they're complaining, they're whining about it. And that's what's happening right now. That's what Capcom and these other companies are doing. And we've just seen this, like my video yesterday about Prince of Persia. That's what's happening. People don't want this. They wanted, yes, some people in the comments brought up some decent points where, yeah, it's going back to the 2D style, just because it's 2D of the original Prince of Persia, but this is not Prince of Persia in any sort of form or fashion. And I don't know. This isn't Prince of Persia I wanted. Hey, someone might enjoy it. I'm not going to be spending my money on it. Um, I wanted my Sands of Time remake. I went into that yesterday. You can watch that video if you want. But hey, Capcom, you're making the wrong moves. You're getting bonehead here. Leave the Japanese culture alone. Let us enjoy it. Let us make our own decisions on that product like you have for the last 30 plus years. Let us enjoy these games. We love the Japanese culture. That's why we play Japanese games. That guy couldn't have said it any better. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. Tell me what you guys think about this situation. Hey, if this video gets a lot of views, great. If it doesn't, hey, if you liked it, share it. Please, that'll really help. Thank you guys so much. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.